So this is a purpose-built apartment building. Every unit is a two-bedroom unit, one bath. There's no laundry in these units. There's shared laundry in the basement. But with our updating, we're able to turn in one of the closets in the units into laundry. I have lots of experience from basically beginning to end of renovation, which is pretty key for real estate investing.
And this is a 14-unit building. We found it privately, so we negotiate with the seller. In fact, the way this deal all came together for everyone at home, literally Jeff Wybo sat in his car in a parking lot, the parking lot that you guys are parking at to do the work, and literally just waited and spoke to every tenant that came in and out of the building until he was finally able to get the seller's email address.
What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and in today's video we're going to be jumping into some of the renovations I've currently got going on in my apartment buildings. You guys have been wanting to hear us do some updates in regards to what's actually going on with my personal portfolio, so I figured let's jump into it and break it down for you guys. And we're going to be meeting up with Tom, who's our full-time contractor for my one corporation that does kind of the BRRRRs on the apartment buildings we're buying these days. And just for perspective, I think in the last 16, 18 months, we've acquired about 150 units in that corporation. So we're definitely keeping Tom busy, but let's jump in and catch up with Tom the contractor.
All right, guys, so we've got Tom here. And before we dive into this entire project, Tom, I'd love for you just to kind of maybe paint a bit of a background about how we know each other, how we got connected, all that good stuff.
Nice. I basically just ended up in the right place at the right time on the right forum post, which led me to meeting all these investors in my own city. So basically, I found out about BiggerPockets.com. I posted on there, and this is when the local meetup group here in London was just getting started, when all the big name investors were just meeting up, like Matt McKeever, yourself, Mike Rosehard, Kellen, Matt Gertz, a lot of the guys that started out here. And we met basically at a bar called Tiger Jack's. And that was like one of the first meetups here in London. And you just reached out to me afterwards on BiggerPockets.com and said, hey, nice meeting you. Do you want to meet up sometime, talk shop and everything? And I just met all these investors, and I worked as a carpenter at the time. And then you guys gave me a whole bunch of work because real estate investors are always buying places, and they need guys like me to come in there and renovate all their properties and make it look good. And I was just in the right place at the right time, and everything's been just skyrocketing since that first meeting. I'm loving it.
Awesome. Yeah. And so if you guys don't know, Tom's actually been on the channel in the past, just documenting his own real estate projects. So like you're also an investor yourself, as well as working full time, running the crew and managing all our apartment like flips or BRRRRs, right?
Yeah. So I've been mostly self-employed, but then I joined your team last May, I think it was. And I was put in a position to start hiring more crew members and grow the team, and then develop a good renovation crew. And we're going into the units, the apartment buildings you guys have been buying, and we've been renovating the units from top to bottom, turning them from greasy, run-down, dirty little units, and then we come in there and make them sparkle and shine. And we've been documenting the process. And we've been doing a bunch of filming, and we're going to be putting together this video, and hopefully everybody loves it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so just give perspective, how long have you been swinging the hammer? Like how long have you been in the trades?
Basically, I got my first construction job when I was like 21, I think. 32 now, so we're looking at over 10 years in the renovation industry. My first job was with a general contractor, so I was able to learn a lot of different aspects of the renovation industry, because we would do entire renovations from demo all the way to finish. So I had a lot of firsthand experience from the whole stages of the renovation process, which is a very important thing to have. Because a lot of people, they don't have that. They're usually like specialized trades where they're either just a framer or just a drywaller or just a flooring guy. So I have lots of experience from basically beginning to end of renovation, which is pretty key for real estate investing. because you need somebody that has experience from beginning to end, so they can foresee things coming up. They're better at planning the whole steps of a renovation, when to order material, what steps, what stages, everything needs to go in a proper order to make the renovation as smooth as possible.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. And so do you mind just giving everyone a perspective? What's the team look like today and what's your day to day?
Right now I got 3 guys on my crew. We started hiring a few months ago, and I've hired a bunch of guys. I've had to fire a bunch of guys already because it's hard to find guys that are reliable and that they show up every day, 5 days a week. They always come up with lots of excuses why they can't come. Their back hurts or I had bad fish and stuff. So I'm a little lenient sometimes, but I'm like a 3 strikes you're out type guy.
Yeah.
So right now we got 3 guys and myself. I call myself like a hands-on project manager, where I'm still on site. I'm still helping out on whole beginning to end of the renovation. But ideally I'm delegating a lot of the work to my guys. Training them a lot because they don't have the full renovation stuff. And in construction, like the work isn't like super complicated or super hard. It's just, if you haven't done something before, I don't expect you to be good at it. So I'm patient with them. I train them. I show them how to do stuff. I'm teaching them how to tile, how to paint, how to install flooring. And they make mistakes, and that happens. But in construction, you can pretty much fix anything. Like if you mess up, there's just put more drywall mud on it, or just paint it again, or just clean it up and redo it over again. There's very few things that you can't fix, or you can't fix your screw ups in construction. It's training a bunch of guys, and then ideally all these guys have the same experience I would, where they immediately know how to do the whole process themselves, from demo to start painting prep, and start filling holes, and they know the whole process. So that I'm more comfortable at leaving them, say, go to this job site, and then you're good for the day. You can just keep working, and then I know that they're competent, reliable, and all that. But it's been a learning experience having to deal with employees, because some days are good, some days it's a nightmare, and it's hard to find good, reliable people.
Yeah, it's using a completely different skill set than just swinging the hammer yourself when you're managing people and getting them to swing the hammer. So kind of shifting gears here, or moving into the actual project that we're going to be exploring today, I'll just give everyone at home a little bit of quick context. So this is a 14-unit apartment building we bought here in London, Ontario. It's kind of in the Adelaide and Cheapside area. I really love the location personally. I used to actually live there, so this property actually, like the grocery store behind it, is the grocery store I used to go to get my groceries and stuff. So definitely love the area. And again, this is a 14-unit building. We found it privately, so we negotiated with the seller. In fact, the way this deal all came together for everyone at home, literally Jeff Wybo sat in his car in a parking lot, the parking lot that you guys are parking at to do the work, and literally just waited and spoke to every tenant that came in and out of the building until he was finally able to get the seller's email address. We sent the seller a blind offer, never spoke to him, submitted the offer blindly. And we offered, I think, 1.2 million on the property. And he came back and he was like, you guys are in the right ballpark, but I think I'm going to keep it. And we were like, okay, well, why don't you just tell us? Like, if we're close, like, just tell us the price, and I'm sure we can make something work. So we originally offered him 1.2. He countered us at 2 million. And after we picked our jaws up off the floor, because he essentially doubled the price on us, even though he kind of misled us by saying we were in the right ballpark. Clearly his definition of sports and mine are a bit different. But we ended up actually being able to negotiate with this guy and find a solution where we actually could overpay for the property. But the reason we could overpay is because he gave us a great vendor take-back mortgage. And one of the aspects of that vendor take-back mortgage was 6 months of no payments. So essentially, that's one of the reasons we wanted to get in there and blitz these units as fast as possible, because at the current mortgage amount and the interest-only payments, we actually would be losing cash flow every month. We'd lose money every month if we didn't get in there and fix up the units in a timely manner. So that's kind of where, Tom, you and your crew come into play. So do you mind kind of walking us through, how you guys tackled these multiple projects, the budgeting, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so basically we started, it was the summer of last year, so like May, June, July. So it was kind of like the whole COVID thing was going on, so it was a little shaky on having employees and all that stuff. So it was mostly just me at the beginning, and then I started hiring guys and bringing more guys in. But since then, we've renovated 8 out of the 14 units. So we've gone in there and completely updated the electrical, the flooring, all brand new kitchens, all quartz countertops, backsplashes, new door handles. Luckily, we haven't had to update a lot of the tub surrounds and bathtubs, because that can get pretty pricey when you got 14 units and you got to update all the bathtubs and tub surrounds and stuff. So we only had to really do one. But yeah, we're just flying through all these units. The first ones took a month or two, probably 2 months to do like the first 2, but now I'm at like 2-3 weeks and they're very, very close to being finished. And the rents are going from like $800 up, and once they're finished, we're getting like $1,700.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically doubling the rents for you guys, and like within a month, pretty much, which is pretty good. So we're just getting faster and faster at the whole process because we've done 8 units so far, so we know exactly what we're getting into the next one. So like before we even started, I've already talked to all the flooring suppliers, the cabinet suppliers, talked to the electrician. Hey, I got another unit for you. Can you come in 2 weeks when we get started? He's like, yep, sure, no problem. And he knows exactly what's coming up. And the plumbers, they all know. So it's like rinse and repeat pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And so do you mind breaking down for people? Because I know when I used to watch like renovation shows on HGTV and stuff, I always wondered like these serial flippers that are doing, a bunch of houses at once, or in our case, a bunch of units at once. Yep. Are you buying flooring by the skid? Do we have a warehouse? Is it just in time inventory? How does that all work?
For flooring, I recommend finding a flooring supplier, like one of those mom and pop stores that you can see driving down the road and say, we sell flooring. I've gotten stuff from like Rona and Home Depot, but the personal relationships developed with these people are much better. I can send an email saying I need 1,500 square feet of the same floor. And then she replies to me in an hour and says, okay, we'll deliver it next week or whenever. And they deliver too. So like, I don't have to go to the store. And then I can order a lot of stuff through them, like all our tile supplies and everything. I can just fire off an email and then they deliver everything, which is super convenient. I recommend getting that for supplies for flooring. But like, we'll just go through like the whole process. Basically, everything starts with demo. Like we're these units, and they're like really old kitchen cabinets. Like if you want to save money, you try to paint your cabinets, but these ones are just so old that it's not worth it in the clientele that we're going for. Yeah. We don't want older cabinets.
And so, Tom, do you mind just breaking down for people, what does this unit look like? Like how many bedrooms? What's the square footage? All that.
Yeah. So this is a purpose-built apartment building. Every unit is a 2-bedroom, 2-bedroom unit, 1 bath. There's no laundry in these units. There's shared laundry in the basement. But with our updating, we're able to turn in one of the closets in the units into laundry. So we're adding electrical and bringing over plumbing to these closets. And then it's roughly 12 feet of kitchen cabinets. So we got 8 feet of lower cabinets and 12 feet of uppers, with new appliances. And then you got a decent sized living room and kitchen, and each unit has balconies. So there's a sliding glass door that leads out to a balcony, except for the basement units. They don't have that. But most of these units is just a lot of just cosmetic stuff. So we're not framing new walls or destroying walls too many. Sometimes we got to expand the closet doors to add the laundry. But mostly the work is just cosmetic. So taking out the old cabinets and putting in new ones.
And then, yeah, walk us through, like, what's demo day look like? Is that 4 of you all showing up at once and you're smashing everything in one day? Does it take a week?
Depending on which units become available. At one point, I was working on 3 units at once. So we had 3 guys plus myself show up on the first day, and I have a trailer that I use for demolition stuff. So we basically just go into each unit. 90% of the unit is usually just carpet. So we have to rip up all the old carpet, roll it up, take out the old underpad, clean up all the staples, and then take out all the old kitchen cabinets. So that's to take out kitchen cabinets, you got to be able to shut the water off. So hopefully the sinks have shutoffs. If not, sometimes there's shutoffs going into the units, so you can just shut it off on the outside. So you shut the water off, make sure it's not running, and then you can freely take out all the cabinets and not have to worry about springing a leak, because you don't want leaks. So yeah, the kitchen cabinets come out, and then depending on how the old doors look, if the doors are fine, we just leave them. Some of them are busted and stuff, so we got to take out those and order new ones. But that's most of the demo, and then it's just a lot of paint prepping, because a lot of these units, like some of them are smoker units, so like the walls are all brown and stuff, so we have to take time and clean the walls with TSP and wash them all down, and then sometimes just got a primer with kills over everything, just to hide everything. And then usually it's demo, and then you start paint prep, and then once painting's done, you're usually able to start flooring.
And do you know what sort of paint are we using in it? Do you know off the top of your head?
We use Sherwin-Williams. That's our paint supplier. Most paint companies they still have really good paint. That's just the supply you guys gave me with. So
And like, do you know the code or the color or whatever?
They're 200 series for the walls, eggshell. And then just flat white for ceilings, and then we use their semi-gloss. I think it's 400 series, something like that, for the trim. So basically, it's ceiling paint, wall paint, and trim paint. It's all the same colors for all the units. We're not Matt Pichet with accent walls and all that stuff. But nobody has said, "Hey, Tom, we need an accent wall. It's too much gray." So we've just been using that. It's just convenient that way. So if there's any patching or anything, we know what paint is in every room. So once painting, and then floors go in, we use a vinyl click. It's roughly $2 a square foot delivered with taxes. So it's like $1.79. Then with taxes and everything, I just round for $2. So these units are between 700 and 800 square feet. So we need $1,500, $1,600 with the flooring for every unit. And then sometimes we gotta either replace the baseboards because the old style, I can't add flooring to it because it's a rounded shape, and I can't add a piece of shoe molding that would look good. So we have to rip out all the old baseboards and install new. So we usually get that delivered and painted first before we install the floors too, just because it's easier to paint it before you install it. And then so floors, trim install. That includes any closet doors. These units we've had to get custom sized bifold closet doors because all the door frames are steel, so they're not wood. So I can't adjust the size of them at all, and the door frames are just the way they built them. They're smaller than standard, so I have to order custom bifold doors where they just cut the top and both sides to make them fit. That's a little extra, but North Pole Trim, that's another supplier you should look into getting. Find a local trim supply shop. They usually sell doors and casing and trims for all your renovation projects. And once again, you can just call them and they deliver to you. Usually at no extra cost too, which is good. So once painting's done, trim's done, it's usually kitchen installs. I've been using Rona's European style kitchen kitchen cabinets. Rona was just bought out by Lowe's, so now Lowe's and Rona carry the same cabinets. So it's actually pretty convenient that if Rona is all out, go to Lowe's and they have the same manufactural cabinets. And it's usually best you can get them on sale. You should get a discount between 15 around 15% if they're on sale. But with how our renovations go, sometimes I just can't wait for that. So I say I need cabinets, so I'm not. Sometimes I save that 10% just because we're trying to turn over these units as quickly as possible. So if you,
what does our kitchen normally set us back?
Kitchen cabinets are between 1,500 and 1,800 for the 12 feet. So that's what, $150 linear foot for cabinets, and then we put in quartz countertop. And we get it's 1.25 inches, so it's thicker than the 3/4 stuff, and that's like $1,200. So the countertop is pretty comparable to all the brand new cabinets, but that includes the sink and install, and then the finish is just a lot nicer than you would with laminate. So if you're going for like budget friendly, you would put in laminate countertops because you can get a 10-foot thing of laminate for $300, and you just have to buy your sink, and it looks decent. It just won't last as long as the quartz will, and the quartz brings in a better quality tenant. So we're like roughly $3,000, and then we got to get hardware. We get all our hardware from Amazon, so you can go on Amazon and order all the doorknobs and bowls just through them. I even get the kitchen faucets and bathroom faucets from Amazon. They have the cheapest faucets you can find. And then I get all the door handles for all the units from Amazon too. So we actually get a lot of stuff just from Amazon, and it's super convenient. I can just go on my phone and order it, and it shows up at my house the next day, which is nice.
And then bathrooms, Tom. What's the typical bathroom renovation in this building look like?
This building, it's usually we need new vanity mirrors and new vanities for the most place. They're just base 24-inch vanities, so you can go to Home Depot and get a $100 vanity marble top with a little cabinet, and then we need medicine cabinets because for more storage, and those are $50-$60. And then we get all new light fixtures. Once again, we get light fixtures from Amazon too, at least for the bathrooms. And then we get the towel holders and toilet paper holders from Amazon as well. So basically, it's a one-stop shop and everything. So it's like $400-$500 in just materials to redo a bathroom. That doesn't include touching the bathtub or the tub surround. Luckily, most of these units have decent white tiles, and somebody's gone in and put in the bath fitters. So you can call a company called Bath Fitters, and they come in and they basically drop a new bathtub over the old one and then just connect the drain. So you don't have to go through the whole process of renovating by tearing everything out and putting in a new one. They can be pretty expensive to have them come in and do it. And if you know what you're doing, it's sometimes cheaper just to tear it all out and redo it. But if you want a quick fix, if the tenant's already in the unit, you don't want to spend the time, then you just call Bath Fitters and they can come in and put in a new tub. But we haven't had to do that.
And then, so once everything's done, what's the final bill normally look like?
For these units, I haven't been picking up the appliances, so I'm not entirely sure about the bill on that because we've been buying brand new stainless steel appliances for all these units. So the final price is anywhere between 15 and 20 grand per unit, and
that's including the labor,
including most of the labor. So like higher end, just call it 20 grand a unit, and then you're getting $1,700 a month rent, so it doesn't take long to pay off that renovation cost.
Yeah, and I think that's a really big point to all this, guys, right? So this might seem like a little jarring for people that have only maybe ever watched my Burning Alive Street building where I'm talking about used on
Yeah,
everything, and I'm
it's
painting cabinets, and I'm literally stretching every dollar. There's a
yeah,
big difference that occurs when we look at really trying to scale our operations. So I think a lot of like small mom and pop operators or like a person that's going to renovate one unit or flip one building at a time, you can actually go and buy used appliances, do that
yeah,
stuff. But if we were to try and buy 8 sets of used stainless steel appliances in a couple months here in London, we would literally tap out the entire used appliance market here in
yeah,
London.
exactly.
So again, it's about really looking at the trade-offs between your time and money in this
Yep.
regards. And so at this point in time, when we've got an entire crew of guys like Tom working at our job site, the key is we don't want to have you guys running around trying to find used appliances or waiting around on the job site because we weren't able to connect with the homeowner to get the used dishwasher in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important that people understand as your business grows and evolves and matures, so does your business processes and even just like the sort of decisions you make. 5-10 years ago, it probably would have been a challenge to talk me into getting quartz. But now it's just like, nope, let's just do it all. Let's put in dishwashers everywhere. Let's add in-suite laundry units. Let's just buy new because, we need to be able to move fast on this, because another big factor here is because we're doing this at a larger scale, oftentimes we're borrowing at more expensive rates. And so time becomes more and more valuable to us, the higher the interest rate we're paying. So again, spending a couple days screwing around trying to chase down a cheaper set of appliances or countertop for that matter doesn't really make sense at this scale as well. It's a lot easier when we're looking at an apartment building to have the same sort of everything, right? Like if all the door handles are the same style, you can just have a handful of spares rather than have to constantly be searching for matches and stuff when things go sideways or things of that nature. Same with appliances. Pretty much even with when we're talking about our hardware and our doors and boxes and cabinets for the kitchen, again, just really being able to use the same sort of materials time and time again, not only just makes it easier for the crew to be able to do the renovations faster, but it also allows us down the road when we have to maintain this. It'll be easier and cheaper for us as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And so in summary here, Tom, I guess now that we've gone through, turning over 8 apartment units in this apartment building, what are some of the biggest lessons that you've maybe realized as you've been trying to scale all this? I'm sure you didn't really learn a new way to paint or anything necessarily, but like managing people, managing crews, managing the larger scope of these renovations, what have been your biggest takeaways?
My biggest takeaway is that no one is as good as me. Like I have all these expectations for all these people, and then they work, but they're not as fast or it's not as good. And I'm like, how did it take you that long to do that and all this stuff? So I have to reel myself back from my expectations of what I think other people are able to do, and just be more patient. As long as they're learning and still showing up, it's okay. But it's hard to expect them to be so fast when they're just learning. Some of the guys, some of them I can leave on site and then they're just flying by. But I've had to lose some of those employees too, which hurts when you lose one of your best guys. But it's having systems in place, having all your suppliers just you can call and have everything ready and ordered as quickly as possible is key. So having those relationships with your suppliers and having good relationships with your trades. So I'm buddy with my electrician and plumbers, and I ask favors from them, and I can call them at a moment's notice, and they can sometimes just drop their tools. So it's about developing relationships with your trades. Make sure you pay them on time, so they're not waiting, and then they know when they come to your job site that they're going to get paid in a timely manner. And it's just having peoples and plans in places makes renovation processes go a lot better. Having a guys you can trust and reliable, like I am. Honestly, we talk for 30 minutes a week, and everything's getting done, and it's great for you guys because they're just like, Tom, good work. Any concerns? Nope, you're doing good. Find guys like me, pretty much. like you can trust me with anything on the job site. And so finding guys like me would be like very important for any real estate investor.
And speaking of that, Tom, we're always hiring, right? So if someone is interested in joining our team, if they are a guy like you or a person like you, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
You can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm the Vaga Bonding Carpenter. I love to travel, so I've been to over 20-something countries. It's all thanks basically to real estate, because I've been able to refinance some properties and get a big check and then go travel the world for 5 months, which has been fantastic. So yeah, just reach out to me. We've got some guys from the Cash Flow Tribe joined our crew. He's been working out really well because he wants to learn about real estate investing and the hands-on stuff, because most first-time investors, it's really important that you get your hands dirty on some projects so that you know what it's like with your boots on the ground, swinging that hammer until you realize you don't want to do that anymore. So you just hire it all out, but then you know the whole process, and then you know what to expect when you have contractors coming at you with quotes and everything. So yeah, reach out to me.
Absolutely. We'll throw a link in the video description down below if you guys are interested in joining our team. If you guys try and steal Tom, we'll kill you. So, again, it really is about finding those key relationships in people in business, right? And again, we went through a lot of contractors, a lot of tradespeople before we really were able to find a great win-win solution with Tom. And I think the key is when you do find a great opportunity, you need to really come to it with a very open mind, right? Like I remember our original couple conversations where we were trying to explore how to make this relationship work, where you could still have autonomy and still have like upside as well, potentially down the road in regards to everything we're doing. And again, it was just like having a very frank and open conversation and kind of exploring, you know, hey, what's Tom need? What does our company need? And like, how can we align everyone together?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, really appreciate it, Tom. And for everyone that's watching this video, just a reminder, this is actually a multi-part video series. So make sure you hit subscribe, make sure that you hit the notification bell so you get updated, because in the future video, we're going to walk through in depth exactly what one of our kitchen renovations look like. We've got a time-lapse video for you as well. Tom will really dive deeper into some of the numbers and some of the processes behind flipping around one of our kitchens in our apartment units. And again, thanks, Tom.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again to Tom for taking the time to shoot this video, and I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? And what other aspects would you like to see us document related to the project I'm actually currently buying and renovating? Let me know in the comment section. Let us know what other questions or videos I should be shooting with Tom. And just an FYI, we do have a couple other videos coming out with Tom. We'll have some of the finished products, as well as just discussing some of the budgets behind these renovations. So if you guys are interested in learning more about that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and hit the ding on the notification bell so you guys actually find out when these videos drop. Thanks, guys.